Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. It's time for some major updates on the Dallas Cowboys as we dive into the latest news surrounding two key players, DeMarcus Lawrence and DeMarvion Overshown. But that's not all. We also have some buzz around Mike Vrabel and how it could impact the playoff picture for America's team. So grab your popcorn, buckle up, and let's get into it. The Dallas Cowboys have had an eventful season so far, and with the playoffs looming just around the corner, every single piece of news counts. The Cowboys' defense has been one of the most dynamic in the league, and today we're going to talk about some crucial updates on the defensive side of the ball. One player who has been a cornerstone of that defense for years is DeMarcus Lawrence, known affectionately by fans as Tank. He's been a disruptive force in the Cowboys' pass rush for a long time, and his leadership is invaluable. However, as every fan knows, injuries are always a concern, especially this time of year when the stakes are so high. Lawrence recently dealt with some health issues that have had fans on edge, as they feared he might miss significant time. Fortunately, the news on Lawrence is a bit of a mixed bag. Let's start with the bad news. The star defensive end has been battling a knee injury that has limited him in practice recently. Now, this isn't the first time Lawrence has had to deal with injuries over the course of his career. But with the team heading into crucial games for playoff positioning, every injury becomes a much bigger issue. There's no denying Lawrence's impact when he's on the field. His ability to disrupt the pocket, rush the quarterback, and stuff the run is a huge asset for the Cowboys' defense. So, hearing that Lawrence's knee injury has been manageable is somewhat reassuring. The Cowboys' medical staff has reportedly been working with him intensively, and he's expected to play in the upcoming games, barring any setbacks. It's a relief, but the Cowboys will need to continue monitoring his condition closely. Tank is the type of player who can play through a lot of pain, and his leadership on the field cannot be understated. But keeping him healthy will be one of the biggest challenges moving forward. So, Cowboys fans, let's keep our fingers crossed that this knee issue doesn't hinder Lawrence when it matters most. Now, while Lawrence is trying to stay healthy, another player has been making waves in the Cowboys' defense this year, rookie linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. This young prospect, drafted from Texas, showed a lot of promise early in the season, and fans had high hopes for him as a versatile linebacker who could excel in coverage and contribute in multiple ways. Overshown had been carving out a bigger role, earning more snaps on defense, and showcasing his athleticism. But unfortunately, the news surrounding Overshown is less than ideal. Just this week, reports broke that the rookie linebacker suffered a torn ACL during the team's most recent game. This is a devastating blow to both Overshown's season and the Cowboys' defense as a whole. Overshown was coming into his own, playing well in passing situations and showing the kind of versatility that could make him a key part of the defense for years to come. He had even started to get more reps as a coverage linebacker, a role where his speed and agility were vital. The injury occurred at a point in the season where the Cowboys needed all hands on deck, and losing Overshown means they'll have to adjust on the fly. The Cowboys will now need to lean on their other linebackers, such as Leighton Vander Esch and Derman Clark, to take on even bigger roles. For a team with playoff aspirations, losing a young, talented player like Overshown is a tough pill to swallow. But it also presents an opportunity for other players to step up and fill the gap. It's a setback for the defense, but if the Cowboys can rally together, they may be able to weather this storm and keep their playoff dreams alive. Speaking of the playoffs, let's talk about where the Cowboys stand as they head into the final stretch of the regular season. With each game carrying more weight, the Cowboys find themselves in a heated race for both a playoff spot and seeding. The NFC East is still up for grabs, with the Philadelphia Eagles currently holding the top spot. The Cowboys are in the mix, and while they're not quite in control of their own destiny when it comes to the division, they're still in a strong position to secure a wild card spot at the very least. The Cowboys have a few tough matchups left on their schedule, including games against playoff contenders like the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. The Cowboys have to be sharp in these games, and every win counts as they try to get the best possible position heading into the postseason. But it's not just about the playoffs anymore, it's also about staying healthy. With DeMarcus Lawrence's knee injury and the loss of DeMarvion Overshown, the Cowboys are facing adversity at a critical time. But this is where their depth will be tested. If the team can rally around these challenges, they could make a serious run in the postseason. The defense, led by players like Lawrence, Micah Parsons, and Trevon Diggs, has been a major strength all year. But now they need to prove they can weather injuries and perform in big moments. As if the injury news and playoff picture weren't enough, there's also been a lot of chatter recently about the Cowboys' coaching staff. Specifically, rumors surrounding Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have had a rough season, and with speculation about Vrabel's future in Tennessee swirling, there's been some buzz that he could be a candidate for other head coaching jobs, including potentially with the Cowboys. Now, this is all speculative, but it's interesting to consider. Mike Vrabel has done an impressive job in Tennessee, building a tough, disciplined team with a strong defensive identity. He's a former NFL player with an understanding of what it takes to win in this league, and his teams reflect that hard-nosed mentality. If the Titans decide to go in a different direction, Vrabel could become a highly sought-after commodity in the coaching carousel. And while the Cowboys currently have Mike McCarthy at the helm, Vrabel's name being floated in discussions does raise some eyebrows. Could Vrabel be a fit for the Cowboys? If McCarthy were to be let go or reassigned, it's not hard to imagine Vrabel stepping into that role, especially given the talent on the roster. The Cowboys have one of the most complete teams in the league, and a head coach like Vrabel, who emphasizes defense and discipline, might be just what they need to take the next step. However, this is purely speculative at this point, and it would require a lot of moves for it to happen. But keep an eye on this situation, as it could be one of the most significant off-season stories in Dallas. So as we wrap this up, it's clear the Cowboys' road to the playoffs will not be easy. With injuries to key players like DeMarcus Lawrence and DeMarvion Overshown, the team will need to dig deep and rely on their depth to keep fighting for a playoff spot. But the silver lining is that the Cowboys have a talented and motivated roster that can step up to the challenge. The return of Lawrence, combined with the continued growth of players like Micah Parsons, could make the Cowboys one of the most dangerous defenses in the postseason. The loss of Overshown is tough, but the linebacker group, led by veterans like Leighton Vander Esch, will have to adjust. The offense, led by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard, will also need to continue performing at a high level to complement the defense. The playoff race is wide open, and the Cowboys' fate is still very much in their hands. Whether they can stay healthy and find the right formula in the next few weeks will determine their postseason destiny. And while the buzz about Mike Vrabel is still just that, buzz, it's something to keep an eye on, as the Cowboys might look to make some changes if things don't work out this year. As always, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Who do you think is going to step up for the Cowboys in the playoffs? Let's get that conversation going. Until next time, stay safe, stay loud, and go Cowboys.